da da dum 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 ba da bum 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 bum. Hello, hello. It's time again for Warframe Wednesday because it's Wednesday, me dudes, and we play Warframe on Wednesday, which is why I call it Warframe Wednesday. Gosh, 2 defense missions, eh? Mayhaps I'll get on a Warframe that is actually good at defense missions. Like Octavia, as long as I don't get irradiated at any point. In fact, maybe I should swap to an anti-irradiation. Yeah, it's fine. Just because if I get irradiated once, Octavia's murder ball will destroy the point instantaneously. But we don't worry about those kind of things because that's respecting the content. And we don't do that here. Right, Pixie? Right. By the way, new stream mascot. I'm going to animate her blinking and doing other stuff at some point, so, you know. Look forward to that or something? I don't know. To be honest, I haven't worked on her animations because I've been too busy playing Palworld with Tahoe to do literally anything else. But it's a fun game, even if it's ridiculous and fucked up. Ow. Where the heck is my murder ball? Why is it not protecting me better? Stay up here, please, Mr. Murder Ball. I need you to not die. I mean, I could go invisible because that's like one of Octavia's massive strengths, that she has a ton of buffs that go well. But then I have to like... Then I have to tap buttons to the beat, and that sounds hard. Which is why most people just have like nothing but... Oh, I have a grenade on me. Which is why most people have a tune where it's just like nothing but beats, so you can just hit buttons and always win. But I want to have a nice tune too, so I just am using Octavia inefficiently and kind of badly. The end. Just in case you don't know, and of course to fill dead air, the way Octavia works is that if you hit 3, the melody plays. And if you time certain button presses with the melody, which is a neat mechanic, I'll admit, you get various buffs. One buff, turning invisible if you duck to the beat. If you fire your weapon to the beat, you get an attack buff. And to prove how little I use the melody maneuver, that's all I know. There's something else. I thought there was like a movement speed buff. Anyway, it's one of the best frames, especially good for defense missions, because if you've maxed out the range, like I have, as you might notice, the little orange line is just like, yeah, that's the range of it taunting enemies, and it's like the entirety of a gigantic room. Helps you know when your abilities are active and don't forget to keep it on, but you know, that's a problem between a keyboard and monitor problem. Was it user and keyboard? I don't know. It's been a while since I heard that phrase. Anyway, it's a me issue, not a this issue. Hello, Mr. Sentient. I heard you making unearthly screeching noises. If you could just not, that'd be good. Oh, I never plugged in the thingy. My bad. Oh, that was silly of me. No wonder there wasn't any people arriving. Oh, me. Me and my dumb. These things happen. But yeah. I've been playing a lot of Power World, and I'm very sorry for yesterday, where I basically just, you know, streamed myself grinding in Power World. Which couldn't have made a good stream, which is part of why I didn't announce it. But it's also, you know, it's also a game for me to play with my friends. So, it's partially for me there. Ow. Why? What hit me though? I need to kill you guys real bad right now. Dang it! Ah! I'm not sure what shot me there. That's unfortunate. And I didn't kill people fast enough. Because the Sentients have way too many hit points for me to chew through with just my amp gun. But you'll have this.
The fastest way to locate Azul's Archons is to upload me to Nair's systems. He was not.
You know, it's like, well, the game's too easy when, you know, you can just get yourself up like 7 times, even though it's a core mechanic. You know, no, I'm not. I'm bad. I'm not gonna blame the game for my being bad, even though I would love to. Ugh. But yeah, what was I talking about before? Power World, I think. It's an interesting game. I'm not sure how much longevity it's gonna have for the moment. It is definitely an early access game because it is jank. Let's just be very clear. There's some parts that need refinement for sure, but there's also some really good parts to it, which is why I'm playing it, which is why it's very fun. It's also messed up, but that's part of the humor, I guess. Normally I hate that kind of humor. It's like the lull, say edgy stuff to get a reaction out of people. Like I I don't respect that usually at all, but it's like it's not as it doesn't lean on it. Like it doesn't depend on the edginess to carry itself because it just actually has a good gameplay loop. Or maybe it's just me. I like survival building games, and with a dash of automation and creature collecting. So like, just a lot of things work. And anyway, it's very fun to chill out with Tile on the server and just you know, work on stuff. I hope the balancing changes though, that's for sure, because there is some tedium which I think detracts from the overall experience. Oh my god, will you stop doing that though? But yeah, it's hard to beat a game that has, you know, the core mechanics of like, you know, there's telegraphed attacks, there's dodge rolling, and you know, and then there's like, hey, what if we also added some Pokemon to it? I mean, not Pokemon, pals. Very, very distinct. Very, very, so distinct. Whew, man, that is so legally distinct. It's impressive how legally distinct that is. I may have some sarcasm in my voice here. I don't know if you can tell. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about it right now. I mean, apart from, you know, because I've been playing it. But well, I mean, there's also a bunch of controversy online about it, I guess. Not that I'm particularly interested in joining anything of this sort. Because, like, I mean, the game's in early access. I mean, the devs have done some asset flipping, which is like, you know, hey, well, why don't we just use all these previously used assets so we don't have to do as much work? Which is worrisome. But I don't know. It's fun enough for what it is right now that I've spent a lot of time on it. Ow, what the heck hit me? I thought I had my shield up. You know, I think talking about Palworld is actually cursing my gameplay. But I have nothing else on my mind. At least nothing else that isn't, like, politics related, and God, I don't want to talk about that. I'm also a bit out of practice with Warframe. I haven't played in a bit. Well, I mean, since last week, really. And you shot my cat with a rocket. How rude. I mean, like, again, this is my own fault for doing, you know, like, oh, Warframe devs were like, hey, let's put in some content where obviously you want to do it in a group because a lot of the multiplayer aspects of the game is starting to just, you know, they're not being used as much as we would like. We really want to focus on players playing together. So, you know, let's let's just make stuff that's like, oh, well, you know, you better be careful because you don't get resurrected, so you definitely, you know, you don't get any self-revives, so you definitely want to roll with a team here. That's for darn sure. And you want to work together, you know, it encourages teamwork and, you know, some squad unity. Maybe you want to go in there with your clan mates and, you know, get better as working as a group, form some cohesive bonds and crap like that. And they're like, yeah, that's a great idea. And I'm just, you know, here being like, but, and hear me out here, what if I didn't? Yes. I don't think you thought of that particular nugget of eternal wisdom. It's like, yes, I could be doing all these things you're encouraging, but I could also just not. And maybe I prefer that. Or something. Also, these... Uh-oh. That's a radiation rocket dude who is gearing up to shoot me in the face. Go away. I said, go away, both of you. Sorry, imminent demise distracted me a bit. So yeah, my own fault. And I haven't been playing Warframe in a wee bit. But it's fine. I'm a little surprised that, well, you know, again, Power World sucking up literally all my time, because I do have a goal in Warframe recently, which is get Gauss Prime, because it came out recently, and I was like, heck yeah, new Prime, get in my armory. Because, you know, as you might have noticed, I have a bit of a weakness for getting all of the things. And like, in fact, one of the biggest things that'll turn me off of a game is the realization I have no ability to get all of the things. So like, I don't know. This could just be a me thing, perhaps. Maybe not. I don't know. Someone can tell me how universal or just boy you're a weird kind of experience this is. But like, I feel like the more achievements a game provides you, like, the less I want to do them. Because I don't know. Something about me is like, I don't know. This comes from, you know. This comes maybe from a youth where I was like, I played one game. I didn't play a lot of games. I just played the one game a lot. And I tended to be very much a completionist on any game that I owned or played, because I didn't get a whole lot of games to play with. Like, I could afford one or two, and they had to last, so I tended to do just like everything you possibly could in them. Like, perhaps a very good case in point here would be like Final Fantasy VII when it came out. Like, that game, like, if you held it down and forced it to just be a plot and just be a linear gameplay experience, like, it's like, I don't know, 40 hours maybe? I don't know, that is probably a very bad estimate. But it's not the estimate, the bad estimate is not the point of what I'm trying to say here. Well, the point of what I'm trying to say here is that I extended that to a lot longer than 40 hours, because, like, I wanted to do everything. And I kind of did. In fact, I, like, getting killed by a sentient, which is pretty much how I die in all of my attempts here, so I'm going to just focus up for a second and leave. Okay, cool. I played the heck out of the game to the point where, like, I knew things the strategy guide didn't. And, like, I corrected part of the strategy guide. Like, I was that deep into it. Not healthy to spend that much time with it, but I was, you know, young and had a lot of free time and tended to get hyper focused on stuff. So, so I did that, and it got to the point where I was like, okay, I've got all the ultimate weapons, but, and hear me out here, what if I had more stuff? What if I just maxed my stats out? And I was like, can I even do that? And then I found out if you, like, used the morph skill in the crashed Galenka, and if you know this, you are both old and an uber nerd, so congratulations on that. But you could, if you killed them with morph, transform them into sources, which were stat boosters, which is just like, it increased your base stats, which were supposed to be very rare items, and I was like, oh my god, I could just max out my stats. And so I maxed out my stats on Cloud. And, you know, it was kind of funny because he basically became invincible. All of it, he hit for max damage every time, all the time. And, like, he could live through Materia Storm, even if though I loaded him down with Materia. It was that broken. And, you know, there was a point where I, like, might have done that for all of the characters I was using, but I think then I finally lost interest. It takes a lot, is what I'm saying. It takes a grind where it's just like, wow, this has long since stopped being fun and vaguely achievable for me to actually stop doing that kind of thing. So I have a bit of a weakness for that. But yeah, Warframe kind of hits a nice sweet spot because I can get pretty much everything. It's achievable without, like, a Korean game level of grind. I don't know how much that phrase means to you, but, like, there are some games which, for some reason, it's very prevalent in Korea-based games, that just, like, boy, oh boy, is there a grind. Like, and perhaps not that much reward for it either. Like, it's almost like rite of passage stuff, where it's like, oh, well, you haven't dedicated yourself to blankety blank for 25 hours straight? Well, then you're really not an actual gamer, my friend. And boy, oh boy, older you get, the less patience you have for that kind of nonsense. So, this is a very, very, very long road of me trying to compliment Warframe on having a lot of things just be achievable. Like, and in a reasonable time frame. I will laud Warframe over and over and over again for the implementation of permanent prime resurgence. That was such a good idea on their part. Because it's like, hey, what if rotating, like, every couple of weeks, we featured 2 prime frames that may or may not be currently available because of how the relics rotate. And what if we added a currency, Aya, that you can get, like, through most normal gameplay, if you're going for relics and stuff, that allows you to just get the relics that you want to get the prime frames for free. And I'm like, wow, lowering the RNG to getting prime frames, that sounds fantastic. And it is fantastic. It's really, really good. And while it doesn't like let you sit down and get all of the Warframes immediately, I think that's probably a good thing, ultimately, because like at max you can get 2 Warframes out of Prime Resurgence, then you're kind of done. So it doesn't force you, like, you can go hard on it. You can, you know, there's avenues to go really super hard on grinding everything, but it just presents you with a nice easy way to get the Prime Warframes you want. And there's a very natural stopping point where it's like, okay, I got the primes from this session of Prime Resurgence, and like, I'm good. Like, I guess I could go. Oh, sorry, operative went down. I guess I could go out and like get all the weapons for it. I could also like see what's unvaulted today, just collect more relics from like relic farming spots, or do this and that. There's always like something you can do for sure. But like, it doesn't try to hard monopolize your time, which I appreciate a lot. And I especially appreciate it when games are like, here's a little RNG mitigation. And so it was really good. It was a really good idea on the devs. And now you can like, oh, there's this prime I really want. You can be like, oh, well, you know, that'll come up in Prime Resurgence at some point, and you know, you can get it then, and it's a lot easier. And best of all, and this is one of the best things about it, is that, you know, it encourages groups to form for those primes. Because, you know, if it's Prime Resurgence for, you know, like, I don't know, Oberon Prime or whatever, like, suddenly there's a really easy avenue for everybody to get relics for Oberon Primes, and you always want to group up for relics. So it encourages a lot of group play, and instead of like, you know, sitting around being like, hey, does anybody want to run this really obscure relic with me? I know that, you know, it's been available in the game for the last 5 billion years, and everybody who's been playing the game has gotten it like 4 billion years ago, but could I maybe get 3 other people who happen to be online to run this relic with me? And, you know, the answer to that is always no. What's wrong with you? But with Prime Resurgence, it's like, yeah, these 2 are available this this month. Excuse me, Chipper just fell over because he decided that he hates staying near me and living. And so it encourages, you know, hey, this month a lot of people will be doing these primes. This is a really good chance for you to get it a lot easier and group up with people for it. It's just good design. Someone in the Warframe dev team had a really good idea. I cannot sing their praises enough for how they structured that. I can, however, criticize how it first started. Granted. Because Prime Resurgence was at first an event, and like, it could definitely 100% have been my bad for this. But when it came out, it was like, hey guys, guess what? This limited time event, you know, every 2 weeks, we're going to have literally all the Prime Warframes become unvaulted for 2 weeks for the next, like, I don't know, 6 months or whatever. For this brand new limited time event, the Prime Resurgence event. And that is a terrible way to implement it, because I, as a person who doesn't read patch notes and is kind of a dummy, read it as, oh, well, once Prime Resurgence goes away, all these primes are going to become unavailable again. So I was like, oh my god, this is my one and only chance to get all the primes. Not knowing that Prime Resurgence would just be a forever repeatable thing and good. So, unfortunately, what happened to me was that, like, I got a massive case of FOMO, and I was like, if I don't grind out all the primes right now in these 2 weeks, I will lose out on the chance for, like, ever. And so I did. And it was too much in too short a time. And it was unfun, and I wish I hadn't done that. But, you know, now that that's over with, you know, a future player who is smarter than me will have a way better time with it. And I can appreciate that after the fact. Because, you know, I'm not the kind of person who is like, well, we can't cure cancer because that's not fair to all of the people who have had cancer. You know, no, we can't make this better because then everyone else didn't have to suffer through what I suffered. Ugh. No, that is, if you find yourself feeling that way, take a step back and remember you're playing a game that people play to have fun. And just because you had to do really unfun stuff does not mean that the game is like now fake or baby mode because they took out the unfun stuff that was a bad idea in the first place. Chipper, why are you all the way over here? What is wrong with you? This guy. Anyway, my problems with defense targets being suicidal aside, it was good. It's good. It's a good plan. Play games to have fun. Don't play games to prove that your, you know, gamer genitals are really like large and girthy or whatever. What a great phrase to suddenly fall into silence after.
I think she's just about good, mate. Scan's coming along nicely. Just give it another minute, I reckon. Ooh, someone needs some sense knocked into it.
Still love Chipper's dialogue here, even if he is, like every mobile defense target, a suicidal lunatic who goes off to die like a lemming at every available opportunity. It's like, wait, you think I should take cover? Or stay near the person with all of the guns, or the defense position? God, no. Oh, wow, what are you smoking, my dude? Again, this could be a skill issue. You can tell the defense target to hold position and cover, but like, that can cause problems all on its own, because like if somebody flanks you, they will not move. And that can present a problem, as one might expect. Because they'll just, you know, stand there and let everybody shoot you. Oh my lord. Alright. Amalgam defense thingy. You are really annoying. Case in point. Where the heck? How did you get this far away? How? How did you get this far away? I can't. I can't with him. I can't with him right now. I can't with him. I'm very sorry, but with you, I can't right now, Chipper.
One Archon, coordinates and all. Pretty.
If you'll give me a moment, I need to sneeze.
Fucking dinner.
The scans are complete, Tenno. Prepare for an assault on the Archon.
Cruel sister, Harpy, go again. Why do you persecute me?
I hope you enjoyed that brief interlude with Lotus and Bazul. They get along great. Okay, and now the actual Archon hunt can start. Holy butts. It's unfortunately Naira, which is one of my least favorite because she heals. And she heals a lot. But we deal. And that's just it. I don't know if you heard me typing on the keyboard. Oh my god, he was talking to someone else! Focus on the stream! God, you lame streamer. It's true, I'm sorry, I'm a lame streamer. Could never deny it. Anyway, weird self-deprecating jokes aside, let's go do an Archon hunt. Oh, hey, it's the room of free Oxium, where you get free Oxium. I like the room of free Oxium, mostly because of the free Oxium. But I also don't have the patience to collect it all today, so I'm just going to point it out and go. Oop, hello. I didn't think you'd be in here. My bad. Hiss.
You found her. Stay on the move. Those eyes can kill.
It's those eyes. Those damn eyes. Oop, hey. No getting behind me now. You even put Tox on me, that's rude. I'm glad armor affects Toxin because of reasons. Come on now. Come down out of your invincibility phase. I don't know why I'm not just screaming and killing her. It's really just flexing at this point. Or I don't need to use my invincibility to absolutely trash you. It's just not needed. But it is a lot faster. And also, I can't parkour for the life of me today, apparently. Naira? Naira! Get out of your stealth mode, Naira. We're wasting everybody's time, Naira. Oh my god. Speaking of wasting everybody's time, don't heal behind your shield. And then go invisible again. Goodness. Hello, Lily here. I'm doing well. Stream's going fine, apart from a few embarrassing failures, but what else is new? It's nice the cutscene ended to have me standing in 2 exploding grenades. That was good of them. Could have just, you know, stopped the cutscene, but you know, again, that would be playing smart, and I don't do that. I just play how I feel, more or less. Grapple, please. Thank you.
Azul has barred the way to us heathens, but stolen deacon veils should allow you to deceive the barrier.
Part 2 of the Archon Hunt. Go kill the deacons. How often do I stream in a week? My schedule should be on my Twitch page, but I stream 5 days a week at 8 o'clock. Now, I don't perfectly keep to the schedule, but I do try to. And hopefully that's good enough. Choppy, choppy, choppy. Gotcha. Okay. Go away, Mr. Drone Dude. I don't know why I'm bothering with this. Let's just go back and turn in the Veil instead of wasting time killing literally endless amounts of mooks. It's like, they are quite literally endless. Why you gotta bother with them? Just because that one was an XMS, might drop a shard, you still have... I think I actually cleared the XMS Nightwave, come to think of it. In fact, I could check that right now, if I wished to. In fact, I will. Yep, killed all the Xmas I made. Okay, so yeah, there really was no reason for me to go that hard because I was like, ooh, Xmas, kill it. But I did. Because once again, sort of a vibe-based stream around here. I'm not necessarily making decisions with the smart part of my brain. You know, you could argue that I have one of those. I think I broke that with my bullet jump, which feels like a design flaw if you can jump into the sensor bar and destroy it without activating it, but who am I to judge? Well, you here sent me a friend request. Well, I will look into that when stream's done, because as you might have noticed, I'm currently streaming Warframe, and I try to keep stream business for after stream. Well, off-stream business for off-stream. You get what I mean. I don't need my brain meats to say things perfectly, right? No, we're good here. Anyway, I think we're about one room away from finding Naira. Hopefully, I kill it and I don't die embarrassingly on it. Are you just summoning things already? Oh my god, I hadn't even arrived yet. It's so obnoxious how she heals during like every one of her invincibility phases. Who designed this? Okay, come down, please. Be uninvincible and come down so I can claw you to death. Thank you. I mean, I get they wanted a long boss fight, but boy, oh boy, it's like The unavoidable invincibility phases where she heals up like a good 20% of her hit points is just like
You dealt with our
ridiculous.
expertly, Tedo. Her kind may expect.
God, how did I solo this when it was even worse? I don't know. Past me was crazy. I mean, current me's crazy, but past me was even crazier, if you can believe it. Go away. You too. Man, do I ever hope I don't get killed before reaching the exit. Because I don't want to do that again. Alright, good times. Got a normal Archon shard and some Kuva. Not the greatest of rewards, but they are rewards that I'm happy to have. Oh hey, not that there's like text in chat, I can show off my new chat. I can show off my new chat box. Yeah, look at that. It's terrible because it's white on light background. Yeah, good job, me. I'll fix it later. Don't worry about it. So yeah, that was that. That was fun. Time to grab some Netrocells, I imagine. The other content that is really hard and supposed to be done in groups, yeah, that stuff. On crossover, it's probably best to stick with my radiation build. Ultimately, I haven't looked at this for a while either, cause like, okay, I need those two. I do. Oh right, I also have the what if just radiation build I made a while ago for exactly this reason, where it's like, yeah, but what if I just had radiation damage? Uh, what if indeed? Like, yeah, the new stuff was just radiated reload, which just increases reload speed, as well as doing more radiation damage, but, like, I'm not sure why I would do that when I could just have yet more damage, you know? What if just more damage is the real question here? They both go down to 4. So is this actually the best? Oh no, I can just do that. Yeah, why didn't I just do that? So I can have maxed out Wi-Fi. It's just like, okay, I'm bad. I'm bad at building. Let's just leave it at that. Also, is critical delay better than, like, I could probably score a point there. Then I could throw max terminal velocity on this. Yeah, and that reaches max capacity and has all the mods I wanted in it. What do you know? Hey, thank you very much for the follow, Lily here. Appreciate that a lot. Anyway, I guess that was a brief tutorial on how to look at your mod builds on Warframe and determine, hey, what a what a bad build this was. You could fix it. uh, I'm trying not to go into like too deep into the weeds of that kind of stuff unless like asked. If asked anything, I will go into a very long rant. But you know, I don't know. It feels remedial at some point.
I gotta believe there's some clue to where Albrecht went in those Netrocells.
Anyway, we're off to the Netrocells and on my mantra for this: cross fingers and hope for melee duplicate, because that's all I want out of it. Da 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 dum da dum dum da da. Da 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 dum da 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 dum. Alrighty. What do we have? We have lose 2 health when moving. Annoying, because I have to keep jumping, but whatever. Activating abilities costs you health. That's another whatever. Every time you take damage, you suffer bleed. A little rough on having all of my defense be armor, but we deal. And constantly lose health unless you kill stuff.
Ready?
Okay.
Leave the anchor hole. Access that terminal.
Bleed could be a little spicy, but ultimately I'll have enough energy to stay in Hysteria this entire time. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna stay in Hysteria the entire time, and I'm going to breeze through this Netracell, which I'm looking very much forward to. I could use a breeze through run of this right now. And so that's what we're going to get. Da 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 dum ba da ba 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 ba. I'm not hearing unearthly whispers nearby, am I? No. That was just you. Twas the large beep boop standing behind me being like, "Oh, that guy seems to be hacking my terminals. Maybe I should stop that. But first, I'm going to ponder that for a bit. We don't want to jump to any conclusions." And then I turned around and shot him, so you know, that was a good time. Speaking of turning around and shooting things, I forgot I'm using a radiation. Usually I can just like blast the crap out of those things, but with my what if just rad build on my Fulman, I can't. I must, unfortunately, hit their weak points, which requires brain power, which is like actually the worst. I hate it when I have to use my brain. Ugh. The worst. Boy, that was a long string of correct characters they gave me for that particular hack. Don't hear any Voca around, so we're just going to go. Undoubtedly, we will be going through a desert area next, and then we will be leaving. Is this one of those? No, this is not a. This is not a room with a free terminal. Yeah. I think there might actually only be one I know always has a free terminal, but you know, I'm still sort of learning the layout of this place, so it's good to check every now and then. Speaking of needing to learn the layout of this place, I went the wrong way to leave this room, so we're gonna go and correct that mistake and go the correct way. Here's the desert. Cool. We love the desert. It's just, you know, just a quiet reminder that there's a lot of weird void shenanigans going on around here. Though, I mean, to be fair, you could describe almost any part of the game as weird void shenanigans that are going on around here. But that's rude. It's really not that reductive. Sort of. Real quick hack. Oh, it's auto hacking. Sometimes I can't tell because it does the hack by itself in a way that looks like I'm doing it. And so sometimes I'm like, oh, well, I'm holding the hack button and it's hacking correctly, so clearly I must be doing it. Like, it's kind of weird and incongruous because like every other every other auto hack is like really obvious. It's like Narmer goes at lightning speed, the Grineer and the Corpus ones go literally instantaneously to the solved solution. And this one just takes its time being like, nope, hold on, I have to do the whole beep boop gamut until the auto hack is completed. And I'm like, I don't want to have to do the whole beep boop gamut though. I want to just hack it and go if I'm using a cipher or getting an auto hack. And it's like, yeah, but what if we fooled you every single time? Anyway, I don't mind that much, just a little quirky. But you know, talking about little quirky things is like half of my stream, really. Just trying to fill in the dead air. The dead air, or there. Oh. Get out of my hair, look. I may not know what I'm saying half the time, alright? Just, you know, I'm here playing the game and I haven't really quite developed a streamer brain that can go on long rambling anecdotes and still like play half decently. You know, and consider this, you know, part of my journey towards that. Where it's like, yes, one day I'll be able to like go on a long rambling anecdote about Costco and not miss a single beat during my stream game. But right now, not happening. Right now, I need to at least give some focus to what I'm doing in this, you know, ostensibly high-intensity action shooter game. Pardon my ineptness. I thought that guy was floating upwards, but he actually was just dying. Good times. Man, sometimes the vampire key glyph just feels like I'm in hysteria anyway, because like every time I kill something it's like, hey, here's all of your health back. You're welcome. Though, you know, with Valkyries, every time you lightly rush a unit with your melee, you go back to full health. Not like every time you kill something, which is like, it is actually that ridiculous. Valkyrie is ridiculous. I love it. I love it so much. I especially love it when I actually have the energy to use her abilities. Excuse me, sir, I need to viral you and then hit you with my radiation again because you have like infinity health up there. Yes, hello. Good sir. Just gonna casually do 1,000,000 damage crit to you if you don't mind. Ah, there's the Netracell activation. I was wondering when it was coming up. Ho-ho! Sneaky one. Oh, he was a little sneaky one. So we found him. I was just lucky I heard his very subtle beep boops while he was sitting on the ceiling there. Otherwise, that might have taken a while, because no gamer in the history of the universe looks up. That's just crazy. That was a Blitz Xmas behind me, but I do not see it. Could have died from incidental damage. I don't know. I am now ceasing to worry about it, I think. I should be a lot less blasé about this. Because these guys definitely have the ability to kill me. If I get blitzed once, I will die. So, like... I can spend my entire time in Hysteria. Why am I not? Why indeed? Just hubris. Absolutely, like, shameless hubris is the only reason I'm not just spending the entire time in Hysteria. I mean, I can't literally spend the entire time in Hysteria. You do have energy costs, and, like, the cost goes up the longer you stay in it. So you do have to, like, strategically drop in and out to play Valkyr correctly. But, you know, for the most part, it's just like, why even bother leaving it if you don't have to? If we've got plenty of energy, just do it.
Could still come in handy.
Just freaking do it. Why make things harder on yourself? Anyway, we're done. Going to find the exit and leave. Maybe I'll stumble on a murmur tome on the way, but if not, whatever. I think it's just this thingy that's making that weird sound. I have an ear out for all weird sounds right now. Sir, can I turn your weak point towards me? No, okay. It's fine, you don't have to. Just would have been nice is all. Alright. Gotta leave before that guy summons the Necromech and makes my life pain. Hello. Crimson Archon Shard. That exists.
Let's at least pretend this mess can still work.
If it wasn't obvious, that was not the reward I wanted.
I
Still.
know you can take a punch. Yep.
I can always shard up my Warframes I'm not super using. Because getting enough shards to fill out all of my Warframes seems absurd and impossible, and not something I want to attempt. And not something that would, like, be useful anyway. So why would I do such a thing? Ugh, exhaustion. Screw you, game. Screw you. Also, God, these are so finicky to hit. Maybe it's finicky to hit when you have more than one.
Access that terminal.
Where it's like, hey, single player, you really should be spreading these key glyphs out. What are you doing clicking on a second one? Maybe it's meant for that. I don't know. I'd have to, like, play with a group at some point to find out. And that can't happen, obviously. I am, like, mildly curious about how groups handle Netracells. I wonder if it's going to be like all other content where people just kind of run through it at top speed and, you know, whatever happens, happens. It's like, oh, well, we left that dude to die, whatever, we can 3-man it, and then you just keep doing that until it's one person and they die, and they're like, why didn't anybody resurrect me? It feels like there's a good chance of that happening, which is, you know, it's the worst case scenario. People do often pay attention to their teammates, and they don't run ahead. Hello, Voka, that I overheard. Hiding back here, huh? Shouldn't be making those unearthly screaming noises, then maybe I wouldn't have found you. Exactly. It's your fault, really. What the heck is this room? I don't recall. No, don't do that. Thank you. Goodbye. Oh, did I just pass by one? Wait. Where am I going? What's happening? Did the way markers lie to me, or was I just being dumb? You know what? I'll leave that to internet historians who have so much free time on their hands that's quite honestly shameful. Wish I could live in a world where people have that much free time on their hands where they're like, yes, this random VTuber had a suboptimal play and I can prove it with this 5-page dissertation on the behavior and the mechanics of Warframe. The way some streamers talk, you think that there was a guy doing that. And, you know, depending on how popular you are, there can be. Or at least it feels like that. You know, it comes from a good place, I guess, maybe, or something. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just comes from a desire for a person to be like, I'm better at this game than you. So, like, maybe, you know, people should watch me, or, you know, you should, like, get good, you scrub, or whatever. And it's like, well, you know, it's possible he's just not as entertaining as the dude. If I may be so bold as to make that insinuation. Beep. Is it auto-hacking? No. That was actually me just holding down the button to hack. Just had a very long string of correct hack there. Anyway. We poked 3 terminals. Time to actually do the hard part of the Netracell. Which is fighting things and not dying. Is there one back here? No. I think I'm hearing Vokas where none exist.
Using the key glyphs will open the Netracell.
Oh god, no. No 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 no. No, no, no. Oh god, I think they summoned a Necromech. That's gonna make this so much harder. And I already have energy drain, so like it's already gonna be kind of really hard. Because I can't walk up and melee things, which is what Valkyr wants to do. Well, I mean I can, but I can't do it while invincible, which is the bigger problem. I do wish there was like a preview of what Netracells would be there, so I could like choose what Warframe I want to go on. Where it's like, oh hey, exhaustion key glyph is there, maybe I should go on a Warframe that is not dependent on being in melee and having energy. Not that Valkyr's like super dependent on that. I mean, like, most of the content I get through is because, you know, Valkyr's armor is absolutely absurd, and then I mod it to be extra super duper omega absurd. And that's fun. Because I like damage reduction. Feels game breaking. Though it's, you know, kinda not. It's not as game breaking as I'd like it to be. But sometimes it feels that way. Hello, goodbye. Never seen a Necromite in the desert area, that's weird. But we're not gonna dwell on it, we're just gonna go. Anyway, time to get him down to 33% so I can continue to kill more things. It's damaging me? Is that the "you haven't jumped in a while" glyph, or am I rolling with Vampire again? I don't recall. Bunch of billion health things just walking up to me being like, "Hello, would you like all of your energy drained?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want all of my energy drained." And they're like, "Too bad! Here's all the energy drained." Then I'm sad. That's how this is going, with that exact voice from the enemies as well. It's kind of weird how they modded that in. They did. They really did. They did indeed. And I'm not just making very weird jokes. Also, ow. Rude. Ow. Extra. Ruder. Yeesh. It's so dangerous without being in hysteria permanently. Things can actually kill me. I hate it. Especially the necromech. Uh-oh, that was a blitz and a slowing field, which nearly slowed me down so much I couldn't dodge the blitz. That was gonna be mean. That was gonna be exceptionally mean. Ugh. I need to find a frickin' like Vitrium container I can lure this stupid necromech into so he actually dies. That's a luxury I don't seem to be able to afford right now. Oh, hello, Necromites. Thank you for, like, being right there instead of, like, being God knows where. Hi guys, I'm back sooner than I thought. Isn't that lovely? I can get back to shooting all of you. Yeah. I'm sure we're all pleased by that. Maybe you are. Maybe you're just that way. I mean, you get to try to shoot me too, so I mean, maybe this is reciprocal? I don't know. Am I participating in some kind of weird sadomasochism thing? I hope not. I mean, like, at least not without consent. Sheesh. Do the minimum, guys. That necromech is going to kill me if I'm not careful. Even worse, I kind of keep losing track of the thing. Oh boy. Why you make this one so hard, game? Why exhaustion key glyph ever exist? Why can't it always be easy on me? Why can't you never challenge me? It's like, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's a challenge in a way, because I need to maintain at least a certain level of focus for an extended period of time, or what at least feels like an extended period of time. I don't know. I'll have to check the how long this one actually is. You know, at the mission end screen, if I remember, which I won't, so look forward to that. Look forward to me forgetting all about what I just said. Anyway, let's get these Netracell debuffs off me, for the love of God.
You're in. Grab and go. Can't wait to see what you got when you get back here.
Oh, they're summoning another Necromech. That's just mean. If that manages to pop me as I'm leaving, I'll be very upset.
We can make use of that.
Tegver sounds weirdly pleased with what we found. I wonder if that actually is, like, indicative of what we got. Maybe. Hopefully. Maybe it's a rare item, and I'll be like, ah, sick, rare item. And Tegver will be like, yeah, that's why I said, oh boy, we can make use of that. And I'll be like, well, you know, I thought it was just randomized. And he's like, what do you mean? Oh, it's because you're a character in the video game. And he says, I'm what? Oh, dip. It's an arcane adapter. I think that's the rare award. So Tegver was not lying when it was like, wow, we can make use of that. Which must mean, thanks to this the sample size of 1, he always says that when you get something really good. Well, that was an uncommon, not a rare award. Rare awards, it's Halforge stuff.
You got it.
But hey, it's a data point. And a useful item. Because more things I can just slap an arcane adapter on for melee, the better. Because what if it pops up in Deviri? Anyway. Enemies explode. Take bleed if I'm damaged. Lose health every second. Acting ability damages me. Okay, a lot of things that will kill me. But nothing that keeps me from being in hysteria and laughing. So this should be a fun run.
That was the easy part. Now you have to find Netracell. Albrecht left terminals coated with partial coordinates in these halls.
Bye now.
Yeah, even he got lost down here.
See, I believe there's a Necromech summoning terminal around this area somewhere. But I don't think I will be making use of it. I just want to get the location of the Netracell and go. So that is what we will do. While occasionally shooting, you know, these Culverins in the shoulder. This is a waste of time shooting that guy's overshield. I mean, not a complete waste. I could, you know, kill him, but there's more where that came from. Let's just put it like that. Ooh, hi! Here's the room with the guaranteed terminal that, for some reason, works as a narrowing down things terminal. So let's freaking go. Hello. Unlock the door. Thank you. And that means the Netracell is now located. So I don't have to do any more hacking, and I don't have to find the third terminal elsewhere. You can just go for it. Oh, hello. Like, right in front of me, sure. I appreciate it when the collectibles are just like, hello, I'm right here. And then I'm like, oh, that's great, thanks, I'm gonna collect you. And they're like, yeah, I love being collected. And then that's it, that's the end of the conversation. Again, with those voices. Oh, I missed a stealth attack on him. Oh. I was like, what was that prompt? Is it a mercy prompt? And I was like, no, I could have stealthed him. I didn't think there were any unalerted enemies in this mission. But it turns out there are sometimes.
This is it. Use the key glyph and get ready for whatever happens next.
Hello, sirs. May I introduce you to... Uh-oh. Nope, 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 no, 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 no. Absolutely not allowed to summon a necromech. Thank you for your participation, otherwise. But please play by the player-defined rules that I have set out in advance without telling you. Thank you. Oh wow, I blew up that guy's weak points, but he lived. That's a rare sight. I guess because they have an absurd amount of hit points, so maybe I shouldn't be that surprised. Oop. No. Bad.
Something's going on with necromites.
Necromite? Necromite. Right there. Hey, stop moving. Wait, you're not it? There can be more than one necromite? Excuse me? That's... No, that's like, no, that's not okay, guys, actually. Like, if you're gonna have me go on a scavenger hunt for a necromite, you do not put a necromite, but no, actually that's the wrong one, and you can't tell which one's the right one thing into it as well. That's not fair. I refuse, sir. I hope we can come to an understanding. Well, just I wish I had more to say, but I'm basically just going to get into a kill thing fugue state pretty soon here. Oh my god, not again. No. 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 Bad. Bad. Bad culverin. No. Summoning necromechs. God. They just do not listen. Also, there was a blitz enemy. It's the reason I prefer to have some kind of invincibility, because if I lapse on focus even just a little and I get blitzed once, I'll just fall over and die. And I don't like that. Nope, 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 no. Go away. Thank you for your cooperation. my goodness, you guys have a lot of health. I'd appreciate it if you had less health. Oh god, that was a blitz I nearly just rolled directly into. That would have been terrible. And embarrassing. Embarrassing. Anyway.
Albrecht's damn Netramites are reinforcing the Netracell. Your hands are tied until you knock them out.
Beep, 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 beep. I hear the berry boop boops. Where's the Necromite? He was down there, and I shot him when I shot the great cover. Okay. We'll take it. Excuse me, sirs, I need to kill you in the correct place. None of this extracurricular killing for us. We only kill for a purpose, even if that purpose is, you know, someone has paid me to do this. Though, you know, stopping an insane void entity from causing madness to spread all over Deimos is probably a good reason. But mostly the rewards is what I'm looking for. Let's be real. Let's get viral stacks on this guy and then shoot him with his weakness. God, even like doing all that, just like, yep, 10 stacks of viral, shoot him with the damage type he's weak to. They still just have so much health. It's ridiculous. I mean, look at this. How many frickin' shots does this bro have to take before he goes down? A lot. It's a lot. Also, he's got an overshield boy protecting him, so that doesn't help. Stop doing that, please. Go away, you jerk. There we go. Alright. Let's clear these debuffs.
Albrecht didn't want anyone in here. I want to know why.
I'm rapidly losing patience for breaking everything in the treasure room, as good as it felt the first 20 times. Do I really need the drops from here that badly? Problem is, the answer is I don't know. I know I need a lot of Stellas, but
Not what I was looking for. But if you're happy, I'm happy.
Tagver sounded disappointed with our haul. I wonder if we got a common reward. We shall see. Oh, hello, many, many things. I'm sure they'll be along. Oh, nothing in the exit room, huh? That's good. I'm quite happy to just leave. Regular Archon Shard. That is, in fact, a common reward. Ugh, good stretch. Tagfer was not wrong to be disappointed in it.
No.
Yo.
In my humble opinion, you'll last longer with a few warm bodies to soak up the damage. Albrecht's security is no joke. Yep.
Albrecht security may be no joke, but I am. I'm not sure that worked. Whatever, it felt intimidating at the time to say. More Eximus, okay. lose health every second. Okay. Activating ability damages you. Okay. Oh, exhaustion. Gosh darn it. Give me the glyph. God, just let me click on it. Thank you.
Only one way out of the anchor hole. Use that terminal.
Oh, it's auto hacking. Hey! We have exhaustion, which is unfortunate.
The Netracell is hidden somewhere in these labs. Sniff it out yourself or get control of terminals. They'll tell you where it is.
I can't believe, like... I mean, like... Maybe it's not... Maybe it's easier than I think to find the Netracell without
If I ever
poking
see
the
that
terminals.
grimoire, I'm gonna bolt. You gotta understand, it's a predator.
But boy, oh boy, does it ever feel like it's absurd to do that. Speaking of something that's absurd to do, let's do the grimoire. Hello, good sir.
It's not you. It's wearing your skin, but it's not you. Kill it.
Yeah. The heck is this thing? Don't run away from me. What killed me? Oh, I got silenced. Oh. I got silenced and all the hysteria damage went off at once. That happens. Ow. Stop hiding in the corner, you little punk. Stop laughing like a child maniacally. Like, you're doing a lot of things that just are not okay. Finish your invincibility phase, please. Thank you. You didn't trap me with your spear that time, punk. Hey, that was my cat. Rude. Oh my god, such a terrible idea. Every time, I'm like, oh, why don't I just also attack the Grimoire? It's just like, no, actually, with all these Netracell debuffs, that's a bad idea. Don't do the bad idea. And then I just do it, because why not? It's basically why. Well, I mean, why not is because it's a bad idea. Why would you do that, you lunatic? Alright, I think I got it to its next phase. Oh, nope, never mind. Ow! Frickin'... Oh my god. You, first of all, don't get to do that.
Still hunting. Find the burrow at Winter's. Kill that.
Ugh.
Now's your chance. Destroy the
that is, without a doubt, the hardest and riskiest way to get that tome stuff. Like, it is just dumb of me to do that. I should not do that. But it is exciting, kinda. I try to be exciting. One could mistake it for being exciting. Did I halt you in time? Maybe? I don't see a necromech rising from the deep, so I guess I halted him in time. That's good. Time to go, though. We've but one more terminal to poke before we find the Zenetra cell. I do wonder how much faster this would go in a group. Probably substantially. Oh, hello. This is the guaranteed terminal room, but, you know, there's also a guaranteed terminal right here, and it's the last one I need, so why bother doing the one that takes very, very slightly more time? Why indeed? I heard that. Or did I? Maybe I heard this thing. Okay. I've officially run out of patience looking for the Voca. Anyway, every time I do this with the terminals, part of my brain is like, oh, why? You could probably do this without the terminals. You just go past the desert and you always know it's there. And then it's like, every time I try actually doing it without the terminal, it's like, oh my god, this is going to take the rest of my life. And then I stop, generally. Or I go activated terminals so I can halt the madness before it spreads. That kind of thing. Hello, friends. I interest you in a close shave. Oh ho ho, that was a joke about using melee weapons. It didn't make any sense, but fortunately for me, you don't have to get the joke for me to make it. Mostly because I'm killing you. And like, you know, you're not the intended audience. I don't know who the intended audience is, because, you know, people watching would be like, boy, that joke was lame and didn't make a whole lot of sense. And I'd be like, I mean, yeah, but I made it, so points. Yeah. Anyway, Necromite's up. Time to kill that. Oh good, this will be an easy one to find. Yep. It's nice. It's nice when it's in a nice, compact room that doesn't have a lot of side areas in it. Anyway, back to the not nice part of this fight, though. Hey, no sneaking up behind me and shooting me in the back. I'm gonna shoot you. You'll be facing me. You'll know it, and you'll be armed. There's a Shock Eximus somewhere that's making their little electric bolts travel through the floor to zap me. And I don't appreciate that one bit. Because I don't like getting hit with no recourse. So it's very kind of him to come up the stairs and allow me to kill him. Very decent of him. I applaud that particular Shock Eximus. See if there's anyone else who gets accolades in this particular fight. Probably not. Probably because I'm going to claw their face off before they get a chance to do anything. But you know, maybe somewhere in the mess, a light will shine. Even in the darkest depths of despair, there shines a light. And if there is not one, be that light in the darkness. Listen. Some Final Fantasy dialogue right there. It's a good game. I love Final Fantasy 14. It is, however, an MMO. And unless I'm like doing high level content or something like very new, it's maybe the least interesting thing I think I could do on stream. I don't want to subject people to my like, hey, I'm going to do crafting and gathering for like an hour or two and just make stuff. He's up here. I hear him. You're in there? Goodness me. These guys and their hiding spots. They make it so hard on me. Why you gotta make it so hard on me, boys? Eh? Why can't you just make things easier on me? Exactly. Instead, we gotta get through that whole rigmarole being like, oh, well, you know. That's easily the meanest Necromite placement I would wager. I don't think there's any other one that gave me that as much trouble as that one. Probably. I could check the tapes, but I'm not going to. Because God, who would waste time watching me? Whee! God only knows. Excuse me, Eximus, need you to blow up now. I've shot you several times, and I would prefer it if you died from that. Oh my god. Another blitz. Could you just stop existing? Thank you. Enemy intensity increasing. It's nice that it gives you a little like, hey, you're in the home stretch kind of thing. Also, what was that? What was that, mister? That was, you were shooting me, you disappeared into the floor and tried to one-shot me with a blitz attack. You know how little I appreciate that? I appreciate that none at all. And I will thank you for not doing that in the future, or you will find me to be very cross. There is an Arctic Eximus somewhere that is slowing me super hard. It's probably on the lower floor, but I don't want to go on the lower floor because this spot has turned out to be really, really well defensible, and it's making this a lot easier on me, so I'm happy to take advantage of it. Oh, hi. Oh, you're the arson Eximus, okay. You're not a huge threat. Oh my god. Would you just, like, lose enough health for me to mercy kill you, though? appreciate that a lot. Oh my god, you didn't die from the mercy kill? Sir? Sir? Sir, we don't allow that in this establishment. When I hit the X button to do the instant kill attack, you're supposed to die. I don't know if you didn't get the memo, but that's no excuse. That has been company policy for a decade now. You have, unless you're like brand new to the company, and I know you're not because it's been like at least a patch or two since you started working here at Warframe Mook Incorporated. Got there. You've had plenty of time to learn the rules. Anyway, thank you for clearing those frickin' debuffs off me.
You're in. Grab and go. Can't wait to see what you got when you get back here.
You're in.
Thing about Albrecht? Okay. Next time.
Aw, Tag Furry, you sound disappointed with our loot. That can mean one of two things. One, it's a common reward, which means it might drop the melee arcane I want, which is kind of nice. Or two, your voice lines are random, and my suggestion that your voice lines are tagged to whether it's a common, uncommon, or rare item is lunacy of the highest order, and I should stop speculating and just shut up about it, but it's not gonna happen. Also, so deal with it, I guess. There's a Voca in that room. I'm leaving though. It was indeed a common reward. It's not the arcane I wanted though, which is slightly disappointing.
Hey,
Hey,
the old man kept a lot of weird crap down here. Later.
last one. Last one, and then I might have like a cool off period. Gonna spend my rep, cause like, as I mentioned at some point, Gus Prime came out. I still don't have it. So, I am very interested in getting the relics it needs. What's this one? Frame Curse? Okay. Lose health when moving. No energy drain this time, I think.
You got your glyphs. So?
Lose health every second unless you kill. Enemies explode. You take bleed damage if you're hit. Yeah, no energy drain. Okay. This should be relatively easy.
The Netracell is deep in this lab maze. Get control of a few terminals. That'll help you zero in on it.
Alright. Had my fun with that Xmas. Time to leave.
That book. I look at
That
it,
book?
and I want to spit or split. That thing's wrong. Capital W wrong.
Oh, it's right there. I don't wanna. It's so painful. get going. Come on invincible and fight me. And you don't get to add complications. Stupid culverins. Come down, out of your invincibility phase, and fight me. Oh, he has a sliver of health left. Rude. There we go.
Still hunting. Find the burrow with Winters. Kill that.
Where are you? Nope. Off the terminal. Thank you. I left the reward behind. That would have been tragic. Okay. If I hadn't been able to hysteria that to death, I probably wouldn't have done it. But it made me pass by it twice, and it was like, hey, you don't have the energy drain key glyph this time. You could just hysteria it to death. Don't you want to hysteria it to death? And I was like, no, I really don't. Like, this is the worst way to get these arcanes. It's unnecessarily difficult and risky, and the reward isn't any better. And they're like, yeah, but what if you did and did it on stream so people can be like, boy, this guy sure accepts pointless challenges a lot. And then I'm like, I guess. And that was Chris's internal monologue. Brought to you by Trying to Fill in Dead Air. Trying to Fill in Dead Air. Bringing you live stream fails since 2003. So game, which one is the correct direction? Because it says it's this way, but you're pointing me towards not that way, is the thing.
Using the key glyphs will open the Netracell. So
Excuse
be
me?
ready.
Yellow circle? Yellow circle. Yellow circle, you are lying? You are lying. You are a liar.
We ain't done. Local threats are triggering a security override. Clear out the uglies to pop the door.
Can't believe the yellow circle would just get on the internet and lie like that. Some people, there's just no redemption for them. Anyway, I should not play extremely blasé and actually use my abilities that increase my survivability chance to kill these guys before I'm one shot by one of them and die and lose all my progress. And the melee arcane I got from killing the Whisper Tome. There's a lot on the line. By which I mean 10 minutes of my time, which is precious. Let's not get it twisted.
Necromites are
But, you know,
Find him. Smash him.
in the grand scheme of things, maybe not that big of a loss. Or maybe in the grand scheme of things, it's the biggest loss. Who knows? I'll leave that question to the philosophers, all of which are on YouTube right now. You know, that enemies drop void bombs on death, that's surprisingly lethal. It's hard to notice them because whenever I get anywhere vaguely close to them, I dip away, but like, pretty sure one of them was just like draining my hit points like crazy, and I wasn't sure where it was coming from. Which is, you know, one problem this game has. It would be really nice to have like a death recap. It's like, you died because X did this much damage to you. And I'd be like, oh, that makes sense. I did let X just hit me a bunch. Alternately, I would go, wait, what the heck is X? When's that a mechanic? How'd that even happen? Explain, and then I'd look it up and like get better at the game or something. Not a guarantee, of course, but, you know, in theory it could happen. But you know, when you're failing at a game, for most gamers, like, the quest at that point isn't to get better, it's to go on the official forums and complain about balancing. I jest, there are very legitimate balancing issues to a lot of games, and that can be the developer's fault, and that is sometimes just an excuse. And even worse, sometimes developers will just like, they will use the get good excuse to hide really poorly balanced stuff. And like, that is the worst. Where it's like, hey, I don't think, okay, I'm gonna drop the pretense here. What I'm talking about here is an MMO called WildStar. When they first came out with the game, they were all like, hey, we got an MMO, it has dodge rolls, we've got a really cheeky and fun dynamic that we're going for too, you know, and like we're all about the AoE targeted stuff. And they were like, it's gonna be fun and dynamic, it's not gonna be nearly as boring as other MMOs. You know, they had some true points to that, some. They did do some things right. Player housing, one of them, very good. A+ on player housing. But like, I remember in the first trailer I saw, I got the biggest red flag ever. Because what they said, because they advertised, you know, like, all your abilities, you know, they're gonna be like ground targeted, so you need to, you know, target where the enemy's going and not where they've been, sort of, or you know, just locking onto a target and pressing the left mouse button isn't gonna cut it. And I'm like, okay, you know, that's mostly trying to turn an MMO into an action game, which very rarely works because lag. And you have to play with other people, and, you know, that's a huge issue if, you know, where the heck is the enemy in that case? Like, if the servers aren't great, or if it's, like, if the enemy is not client-side, then, you know, you could be shooting things, and it's like, actually, the enemy isn't there. It's like 5 feet to the left, but the server hasn't quite caught up yet. So you either have the enemy's client side, which means, you know, the enemies are shown where they are on your computer, and if you shoot them where they are on your computer, it'll go back to the server being like, yep, it worked. And the problem with that is it's very vulnerable to hacking. Also, I got a basic shard that sucked. It's very vulnerable to hacking because somebody can, you know, mod the game and they will be like, hey server, I totally legit did this much damage on my screen. Could you just get that going on your end? And the server is generally like, yeah, sure, no problem, bro. Because checking for that kind of stuff would take ages, and you can't just do that dynamically. Because it's like, boy, that sure would take a lot of processing power to catch like maybe 1 or 2 instances of hacking, and that's really pointless. And anyway, the point I am trying very desperately to wring out of this long anecdote is that WildStar's base game didn't work. Because while you can do it client side, you leave yourself vulnerable to hacking, and there was hacking. But worst of all, they also decided that, hey, you know this whole, hey, everything's ground targeted thing that we're doing, let's do that with healing too. Now, if you don't know why that's bad, maybe you haven't played a MMO before. But, like, you can predict enemy movements of AI, of, you know, NPCs and AI, because they are, on the whole, fairly predictable. They will, like, you know, depending on the game, they all have certain patterns that don't go much beyond, like, walk slowly after the guy with highest aggro, or, you know, find cover and duck there, or, you know, charge forward and scream until the, you know, player's scared by them. There's not a wide range of behavior. So ground targeting stuff is cool, cause like you forces players to adapt their playstyle to you know, enemy tactics as it pops up, and like, I mean, it's basically trying to turn an MMO into a shooter more or less, but it doesn't, like, but also not, because instead of it being a shooter, it was more you target the ground and you shoot there, sort of. Pointless tangent. Anyway, unfortunately, I think most of the devs came from playing DPS and thought it was really boring to play DPS because all you did was sit there and do your rotation because you're locked onto the enemy and there's no engagement whatsoever. And, you know, they're right. But they only ever played DPS because they also said, hey, what if we also extended that to healers? And, like, the second I heard that, I was like, oh, no. There's a good reason healers, like, need to have targets, because players are really impossible to predict. And if you make it so that, you know, healing is, like, super required, like, the last thing you want players to be able to do is dodge healing, especially if you're encouraging this kind of twitch reflexes kind of gameplay where it's like, oh, an AoE has appeared on your feet, you need to dodge roll out of it. And, you know, if a healing AoE appears at your feet, it's going to take a lot of muscle memory to work on, like, oh, I better stand in the good AoE and not the bad AoE. The point is, I played WildStar, and a lot of people dodged out of my healing. And, like, that was really, really predictable behavior. Like, the devs could have, like, figured out that was going to work and played around it. And they did to an extent, some abilities targeted, but like the the best heals, you had to focus, you had to manually target the person to get the good heals off. Plus, the coolest healer, which I thought they were doing a great job with, because I love the aesthetic, was like, yeah, we have a gunner healer who dual wields pistols and they shoot out healing beams, and I was all about that. Because I was like, yes, I'm, good job, break the mold. I don't want to carry around a Healy staff and, have sad googly anime eyes saying, oh, I know my heals aren't good enough, but I hope you'll accept me in your party anyway. No, I wanted to be a dual gunslinger that also shoots you to health. Because it broke the mold, it was fun. It sounded fun to me, and I think objectively you could say, yeah, shooting people with a healing gun is fun. I've played Team Fortress 2. You're obviously saying. But anyway, pretty much all of the gunslinger healers were targeted, so I definitely, unfortunately, managed to get the worst of what WildStar had to offer playing that class. But it was it was a bad, poor mechanic to begin with. Let's face it. And the red flag, who I've been trying to get to for like the last half hour now of yammering on, is like in the trailer. What they said was like, and hey, healers will have to target their ability too, but they'll have to step up their game, but you'll know a good healer when you see one, implying that anybody who can't psychically predict player movements, which are erratic at best, is bad, and that like, hey, if you happen to dodge out of the healing you're doing, don't worry, that just means it's a bad healer, is what that was implying. And I was like, oh my God in heaven, that is going to be awful. And it was awful. It was absolutely awful, and no one wanted to play healer. But also, the game had bigger problems. Content was kind of bleh. It was not friendly to new players, and like, worse, they like utterly changed the like tone of the game like midway through development. Cause like they had an intro where it was like, hey, we're not taking ourselves very seriously at all, cause we're gonna make one side just like goofishly evil, and it'll be like mustache twirling badness level, and that's what people want to play. And like they kept the intro zone that kind of like, I don't know, is timbre the right word? They kept that vibe of like, this side's goofishly evil and we're not taking it very seriously. And then the second you left the intro zone, like, they were like, here's all these nuanced reasons we're evil, and it felt so narratively jarring that, like, it took me entirely out of any semblance of story of it. And it also didn't help that, like, after going through a wild and intense first 15 minutes, they're suddenly like, okay, now go kill 10 cyberboars. And I was like, oh gosh. This is questionably thought out, my friends. So, like, it had its problems. And it's not new player friendly. There were some very big, I could have sworn I had the key for this. It's the square blue key, not the dark blue key. Okay, mission parameters updated. Anyway, they had good ideas, but they had like no ability to follow through on any of it, and they didn't really try. And the game died because that was, you know, that was the era where everybody was trying to be the next WoW killer, and that's all they cared about. And they didn't decide to factor in, like, hey, what if we made a good game first and then tried to be the WoW killer? And not like, what if we marketed it as a WoW killer and that will solve all of our problems? And it turns out that you can't really create a successful MMO with nothing but marketing, as much as every company in the universe wants to. Hey. Well, that was a long rant. I need a sip of water. Ah, excellent. By the way, did I mention why I'm on Lua doing the doing the disruption mission? It's because I'm looking for Gus Prime relics. They drop from here, and it's one of the best drop rates. So that is why I'm here. And I don't think I got around to mentioning that when I was started my rant back when we were doing Netrocells. Man, remember those days back when we were doing Netrocells and I wasn't talking about Wildstar for like half an hour? Those were good times. I miss those times. I wish we could go back to simpler times before I start ranting and I don't stop. Ugh. Those would be times I want to go back to. Ugh. But yeah. Unfortunately I spent all my rep points on relic packs just now, and none of them got the relic I wanted, so... You know, it's unfortunate, but it seems like I am going to have to get the relic the old-fashioned way. By doing missions. Ugh. I have to play the game. It's the worst. Hello, Bursa. You could just, yeah, thank you. A D5. Is that the one I wanted? No. Sadness. Too many drops in here. Why can't it just be the one I want, huh? Man, you know, Dez, if you're listening, one way to make Steel Path a lot more viable in normal content would be to double the drops. Not just of the collectible resources, because everybody has infinity of those. You need to double the dropped reward stuff, like the relics, or the arcanes, stuff like that. So that people can be like, oh, I get double the chance of getting X if I do it on Steel Path, maybe that's actually worth it. Because right now, like, it is just so not worth doing these missions on Steel Path that it's almost laughable that you would even suggest it. It's like, oh, but you might get 1 or 2 steel essences, and you can use that to buy stuff that you've already bought before. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I know I'm exuding a lot of like game developing is so easy, lol energy, and like it's not. I understand. I've tried my hand at game developing. I've tried to develop quite a few game systems, and they're all really frickin' hard. And I never get anywhere with it. Like, maybe at some point I'll make my own game, and then I'll get a taste of my own medicine, and some know-nothing streamer will be all like, well, you know, the dev really should have thought of this before he did that. But, you know, I'm trying not to give off too much of that. These are just helpful suggestions. You know, if you love a game, and I love Warframe, you want to see it better, and some things don't work. And, like, they recognized that some things don't work in the last couple of patches because they changed how the beginning of the game functioned, and they made the start of the game way more accessible with Duviri, and that was great. It was a very smart thing to do. But it also, you know, it took reflection on their part. Somebody in there had to say, guys, the early game sucks. We need, if not to change it, we at least need an alternative to it. And then they made one, and it was great. And they need to do that more, in my opinion. They need to go back at content that does not work, and they need to be like, why doesn't this work? Let's change it. It's just, it's, you know, it hurts. It hurts to, you know, it hurts to kill your baby and admit you're wrong. But sometimes it's necessary. And I don't mean literally kill your baby. That's a creative writing term where, you know, you develop all these deep, nuanced characters and, like, you fall in love with them and you don't want them to die ever, so nothing bad ever happens to your characters, but, like, that doesn't make a good story. So, like, at some point, you do have to give your characters, like, weaknesses, and bad stuff has to happen to them. Some of them may even have to die, and I know every character that you have thought out for so long are, in fact, your precious little babies, but at some point, for the sake of a good story, you're gonna have to kill your babies. And that is where that phrase comes from. I am not advocating for child murder, just so we're clear. As if, you know, it's like, oh no, I'm gonna clip that out of context, because it's like, streamer advocates for child murder. What is video games doing to our youth? And then I'll be like, thanks Fox News, that was really fair coverage you just gave us. Ugh. Man, it's fun to fight against strawman viewers. It's half of my rants is coming up with strawman arguments. It'd be pretty funny if that actually happened, though. P6. Is that the one I need? No. Gosh darn it. I think it's like N3 or something. You know, I have looked at the loot tables, which is why I'm doing this, and if you're playing Warframe and you are grinding relics, just please, for the love of God, look at loot tables. Just make it easier on yourself. But yeah, like, the relic I want drops from loot table, from the C and B loot table, and I'm gonna transfer this into another long rant on Warframe mechanics. So if you don't want that, buckle up, Nancy, or, you know, mute me, whatever. You have choices, I'm saying. If you want to get a specific relic, look up the loot tables. And how disruption works is that, well, how any mission works, is that there are 3 quote-unquote loot tables, A, B, and C. And for most endless missions, the first 2 waves drop A rewards, which tend to be not as good. The 3rd wave drops B rewards, and the 4th wave drops C rewards. And then it just goes on like that forever. No, you're not going to slam me to the... Okay, he did slam me to the ground, but then I killed him. Anyway, that's how almost nearly every endless mission, that's the reward structure. A, A, B, C. That will carry you through pretty much all the content in the game. There are, however, some modes, I think, Defection and Disruption, where the loot tables are, like, kinda strange. Because instead of it being rotating AABC and then AABC again, it's a bit different. And Disruption is different because there is the first 4 loot tables are kind of fixed. I think it's like AABC, depending on how many objectives you complete, and then it goes up from there. So at one point, like, I mean, as you might have noticed, I'm defending conduits in this mode. And you have to defend, 4 conduits every round. But, like, you can fail them and, not lose the entire mission. So you get better rewards depending on how many conduits you keep alive. So, like, if you keep all 4 conduits alive, I think every round but the first, maybe even the first, I don't remember, will give you C tier rewards, which, on the whole, are better. And if you fail a conduit, 1 or 2 or 3, you'll get B or A tier rewards, depending on the wave. I think, like, first wave it's AABC or like AAAB or something. But anyway, once you're on round 4, the reward structure becomes like BBCC or something, or maybe even BCCC. So, like, the further you get, the more consistently better your rewards are. So, and this is the point I was laboring so hard to get to. I'm actually doing this disruption mission somewhat suboptimally, because the relic that I want actually appears in both the B and the C reward tables. So, like, I was guaranteed to get it literally every round, which is nice. And now that I'm on round 4, I can, screw this mission up as much as I like, so long as I don't completely flub every single one of them. And I will still have a chance at getting what I want. But if I wanted to play optimally, if I really wanted to play optimally, what I would actually do is I would purposefully flub the mission. So I only did 1 successful conduit, so I get the B table rewards, because how it works is C table on this particular mission has a lot of very good rewards, but they also have more of them. So there's just a tiny, tiny, tiny higher chance of me getting what I actually want from table B instead of table C. So if I wanted to absolutely 100% maximize my chances, I would play like a doofus who doesn't know how to play Warframe, and just let 3 of the 4 conduits fail every time, so I'm always rolling on the B tier of rewards instead of the C tier. But, and I imagine you're going to have seen this coming, I don't want to play like a doofus. I want to beat every wave, and I want to crush every wave and be like, yeah, good luck with that one, buddy-o. And just be like, haha, I'm so good at Warframe. And I'm not sure if it's a gamer ego thing, or if it's a, like, I prefer not to be that meta thing. It might be a little of both. It's hard to tell sometimes. But like, I will play suboptimally if it, like, if playing, you know, in a min-maxy way just goes hideously against the vibe of the game. Like, actually I don't have a good example teed up for this. I mean, like, the best example is like what I'm doing right now, for example. You know, there are better ways. There's a better way to do this mission, but I don't want to because it feels like so gamey and wrong. It feels like I'm not even playing the game at that point. You know, or like when what other missions do I do this on? There was one other that I had in my brain, and then I had to keep talking, and my brain decided, oh, well, since we're not literally on this topic right now, I'm just gonna eject that thing from your brain. And then I'm like, but I was kind of hoping to queue that up for later, and then my brain was like, yeah. And that's it, that's what my brain said. Just kind of left me hanging. It's kind of awful of it, honestly. But yeah. What other things do I do where playing optimally just feels like you're playing wrong? Like, it's pretty prevalent in a lot of MMOs, where like, the most efficient way to do something is to like, do part of it, because otherwise you're wasting your time. Like, you know, like, okay, here's an example, finally. Like, side objectives, or main objectives that are like number tabulated. Let me paint a picture. Let's say you're in a quest, and the quest is like, hey, free 6 prisoners from the camp of bad guys. And you're like, ah, sick. I love playing the hero. That's part of the Tower Fantasy. I'm playing an MMO to play before. And so you go out there and you free 6 prisoners. And the funny meme of that is that, like, once you've hit your quota of prisoners, like, you leave. And, like, you will pass by, you know, prisoners that are there, and they clearly need saving, but you're like, yeah, but I hit my quota, so I'm not going to save anyone else. And that can really take you out of the experience if you let it, because, you know, it feels dumb. It's just like, I'm here to be a hero and save the prisoners. I don't want to just leave them because I'm done with the quota. But that's how you play optimally. Because if you free anyone else, you're just wasting your time. So, you know, at that point it's like, why bother at that point? Because, like, you're just doing things to feel good. And, like, for me, like, and, you know, maybe this speaks to, like, undiagnosed autism or whatever, but, like, for me, whenever I pass by something like that, like, oh, a prisoner's in a cage, like, I always freed them anyway, if they let me. Because it's like, I knew in the back of my mind that, like, this is just something that respawned, and the very notion of my, you know, feeling guilty for leaving behind a prisoner is, on its face, completely absurd. And I knew that, and, like, I needed to work around it in my head. Because, like, you know, I really wanted to immerse myself in the game, basically. So, you know, if on my way out there were prisoners that were, you know, past my quota of prisoners that I needed to free, I would free them if I was allowed, because I was like, okay, well, you know, I've freed all of the known prisoners is what's going on in my head. So any of the other ones that I see on the way out, you know, those are just kind of like extras, like, oh, they didn't realize there were more than 6 prisoners here or something like that. Anyway, like it allowed me to keep a certain level of immersion where it's like, yeah, I'm doing a good thing and I'm not just ticking off boxes. So I would, you know, if I saw prisoners, you know, respawn or any objective that felt morally good to do, you know, like, I would just do that objective again, you know, before I went to turn it in, because I'm not just gonna walk away from the person who's like, oh, sorry pal, I'm already at my quota of heroism, so you're just gonna have to stay in the cage. Hems the brakes. And like, I played World of Warcraft, obviously, before, and like, they had like kind of a Jekyll and Hyde approach to that. Like, a lot of times they would just let the player do that kind of stuff, where it's like, oh yeah, you can free extra prisoners, it won't do anything, but you can. And then sometimes they like decided, no, you're not actually allowed to do that. And like, because like it's, so for example, if you've gotten all 6 prisoners, suddenly all the prison cells become uninteractable for you, because you're done with the quest and you can no longer make progress on it. And that's a good thing, because in one respect, because, you know, other people are trying to do that quest, and unfortunately the way World of Warcraft is set up, you know, you find yourself competing with other people to do quest objectives, which is bad, by the by. And they worked on making that better, and, you know, then they worked on making other stuff worse, but that's a longer rant for another time. But, you know, their patchwork fix to it was like, well, you know, if you're actually done with the quest, we're going to make it so that you literally can no longer do the objectives in it to give somebody else a turn, because you guys are MMO players and none of you can play nice with each other. Absolutely 0% of the play base actually knows how to get along with other people. And we're accepting this, and we're making it so that no, you can't just grief people with your behavior. Good. Good, I say. But it unfortunately came with the cost of immersion, because like, now, because at that point I'm like, I am forced to walk past them. And I am forced to, you know, acknowledge in my head, well, it makes perfect sense because I am playing an MMO, and other people need to do this quest. And boy, oh boy, if you can't tell why that's real immersion breaking, you are unfamiliar with the term immersion. So yeah, that kind of stuff took me out of the game. Where the heck is this demo unit? It's right here. And if I have the option of being inefficient in order to make myself feel more immersed, I will. Like, okay, here's a good example from Warframe that just came to my mind. The missions where it's defection. where you have to guide a bunch of people out of an infected ship before they die. And like, unfortunately, almost all of those modes are endless. Which means you just keep rescuing people until you feel tired of it, or it's getting too hard. And I can't tell you how much I hate that. Because Immersion Me wants to risk everything. Like life and limb, like just like resources, like go as hard as I possibly can. Like, no, I'm gonna beat the odds, I'm gonna save everybody, no matter how tough it gets. That's Immersion Me wanting that. But like, obviously, you can't. Because the mode is infinite. At some point, you have to stop. Because you've been playing for the last 6 hours on the same mission. Or the enemies have outleveled your gear set so much that you could empty, 100 clips into somebody's forehead and they still would treat it like a summer shower. At some point, there is a point where you must stop rescuing these people. And it must be a choice you make. And I hate it. I hate it, and I don't play that mode ever. With one single exception. And that is when it is part of a sortie. Because when it is part of a sortie, it actually has an end. Because you have to complete X number of waves to complete it. And they don't give, I think, extra drops during that. So like, there's literally no point in doing an endless mode. So they just put in a simple line where it's like, oh, you rescued all the prisoners, come on home. And like, I can't tell you how much that invigorated my enthusiasm for that game mode. Just like having an end to it is just wonderful. And it doesn't break my immersion at all. Because like, I could very easily, very, very easily just do exactly only what is required of me in that, where it's like, okay, all I want from this this rescue the people quest is from the reward column A. So the best thing I can do here is just do it twice and quit. And like, I could do it multiple times, I could just keep going until I got what I wanted. Also, speaking of getting what I wanted, I haven't gotten a single one with Gauss Prime on it. Dear God. Hey. So like, I could keep going and do what I wanted, but it's a massive waste of time if I did that. And since at some point you are forced to accept that, hey, literally this goes infinitely, you have to decide on your stopping point. Like, immersion be damned, you're eventually going to decide that if I have to, at some point, hit an efficient stopping point that I want, you may as well make it the most efficient you can. Even if that completely breaks any immersion you had in the game, where it's like, yeah, I could very easily save like 3 or 4 more groups if I really wanted to, but I don't want to because of the rewards. And like, if you're doing a rescue mission like that, you don't ever want your player to like get into that mindset, because like it breaks immersion really, really hard when you have to like not do the thing that you want to do because it's not allowed or bad, or just like so inefficient that, you know, even the most immersed player, you know, realizes that, hey, I am on a Sisyphusian task here. This rock is going to always fall down no matter how hard I push. So, it's my feeling is that maybe the mode wasn't made for me, basically. And ultimately, it's probably good that it's endless, because like there are reward incentives that make you want to keep going. Like, for example, Void Relic missions that are endless. If you keep doing Void Relics, if you keep opening Void Relics, you get a increasingly impressive, well, not impressive, you get increasing rewards. Like, you get boosters to drops, you get relics that are like pre-upgraded already. Like, there's a lot of incentive for some missions to go endlessly until like the player base literally can no longer beat it because the enemies have leveled too high. And for that reason, you know, you want those modes to be endless, because, you know, you want these players to have fun pushing themselves as hard as they can for rewards that they want to have. And, you know, that's good gameplay. Because, you know, there's definitely an end to it, but at the same time, you know, you could go as hard as you felt you could, even if it's looking risky. But yeah, with the rescue people mission, they obviously added the endless modes so it's like they obviously made it endless because they're like, hey, we need what we need right now are endless modes that can turn into, you know, do this infinity. Finally a B7, Jesus. Okay, I'm leaving. So you can do this infinitively because we want basically any mission to be able to translate smoothly into a Void Relic mission where, you know, you can do it infinitely for ever increasing rewards, and that'll be really fun. Which it can be. There is something fun about going up against ever increasing odds and not really knowing when to tap out. But at the same time, definitely breaks immersion. Like, the disruption conduits here are great because, like, I'm literally just here to loot stuff. So, me deciding to tap out isn't like, you know, Lotus saying, oh, don't worry, the recovery team can handle it from here, you defended it long enough. You know, do that thing. Or, like, what other endless modes are there? I can't think of it. I can't think of one right now. I'm actually gonna look on the star chart for one. Exterminate, rescue, capture, survival. Yeah. Survival is another good example of it, because, like, you're holding out for, you know, another Tenno operative to get as much stuff as they can from the caches that you're distracting the enemies from defending from. So it's just like, you're not losing anything, you're just getting more, and it's like understood. It's like, okay, I have to pull out, tell the looter we've gotten all we can get. Same thing with the disruption missions. Where, you know, you go as far as you can because all you're doing is looting, and you're just getting as much as you can get, so you feel fine tapping out. But, you know, not so with the rescue guys. It's just like not So, it sucks. I hate it. It just feels bad. Feels bad, man. And that's my long, rambling rant on immersion in video games. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'm going to do the Ropa list and then stop playing Warframe because I've been chatting for a long time and ranting and rambling, and my throat hurts.
Blurred by dreams, guided by
So
ghosts.
you can
A void
enjoy
lurks inside you.
Nata
Its
rambling
purpose not
about
yet
cryptic
shown.
bullshit for,
But what
the
am I?
next 5 minutes before I get to the boss.
My father was a farmer. My mother, a carpenter. Given light by the golden lords to build for them a better world. But my family's journey was long.
Anyway,
Time began to change their light. Creativity.
I would pop that relic open on stream, but like,
So the golden wrath
bit of a
came.
problem with that is that to do a relic group
A mimic.
kind of requires me to sit in my orbiter and just like
Swallow the pigeons.
spam, hey, I'm looking for a group
But when I saw
for
their
this
faces,
for like
I
a
took
fair
reason.
whack of time,
For so
and I'm not doing anything during that time, and it
But
is
we were
dull
once
as heck to watch, I'm sure. And
My light
I'm
remained
already
unturned.
like at my limit of rambling here, so I don't think I could make that entertaining unless I had like a chat to bounce off of, which I don't, so we're not going to. The end.
History. But now I am saved. Your great power, your great evil. The voice, the void within you. Our ancients still wither at its touch. But have you forgotten lore?
Are we already at the shoot the bug zapper phase? It might be. Haven't done this in a while.
My capacitors, betrayer. Very expensive, and yet very. How exciting! But I do not think the moth will go so willingly to the lamp.
Scree! Getting the bug zapper, roll-a-poly. He got in the bug zapper.
Aim true, betrayer. You've got it on the ground now. Pin it down. Set it up.
Okay. I need to kill the ads here because they will turn into me, and that will be really bad. Oop, I knocked it down.
Take that big shot before it takes flight again. The charger.
Rise, ancient Ropavolist, my other flesh. Your sacrifice will breed a new way for a new kind.
I think it's bug zapper time again. Not sure. Not really sure if I got that last one. Oop. I meant to get on the rope, not your head. That's my bad. Let me just get off you real quick. Can I get off you? How do I get off of you? Well, that's awkward.
Can't lay a finger on this beast with those shields it has. Maybe this was all a false hope.
I was changed. I learn. Now I deny.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Hello. Ow. No pushing me back. Also, get down here so I can get on your face. What the heck? Oh, is it because you have a shield? You have a shield! Oh, that's my bad. I gotta fix that. He must have gotten the shield back when I failed to ride him into the moth zapper. Bonk. Alright. Kill the ads, shoot the thingy. And once the... There we go.
Go below list. Rise. Remain. And die. For the others to live.
Alright. This round went a little bit smoother, he says, before actually getting on the thing and forcing it to the next phase, thus cementing that he will fail with hubris.
Make that thing.
Maybe. I've turned out it didn't. That's good.
Yes, this is it, betrayers. Rid me of this thing, and I will be grateful for at least a few days.
Okay, is that all the ads? I think so. Bye-bye.
I am the witness, the victim, the judge. My family has returned. Your trial, soon to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, listeners
I really
of
did
all
not
ages,
sign up for Nata's slam poetry session.
walking amongst us, the once and future badass.
Thank you, Nightwave. And that's that Nightwave done. And that is also me done. I'm gonna go find a channel to raid. Da 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 ba da ba ba ba. Garnet Glass appears to be playing Hunt Showdown. And I haven't played that, and like, it looks as good as it is awful. Cause boy oh boy, boy oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, do I ever hate permadeath and roguelike things. It's just not for me. But also the concept of going into a swamp and hunting eldritch creatures armed with nothing but you know, a bolt-action hunting rifle and your southern gumption is kind of appealing and kind of cool. But yeah, it's pretty cool to watch, and so that's why I'm going to send you over to her. Yeah, but for now, I'm out of here. I'm going to finally stop talking. So thank you very much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with God knows what. But I'll have fun with it, probably. I hope you will too. So yeah, you take care. Peace.